Hello, don't be alarmed. This is the first 50 to 70 Doppio. What is a Doppio? Well, it's a double shot of espresso, basically. In other words, we're giving you a little bit of extra beyond our usual planned weekly podcast. And this is going to be more relevant stuff. Stuff that is topical, newsworthy, and just a little bit shorter. So don't worry, we'll still be doing our weekly podcast, but this is just a little extra, free of charge, provided to you. Little shot into your veins, as it were.
It being current affairs means there's probably going to be a bit of moaning.
Yeah, basically, in other words, we couldn't wait to record our usual weekly podcast to talk about this.
We had to give out now.
Yes.
This is the Statler and Waldorf to the rest of the show, which maybe will, if we get the anger out here, we might be more positive and happy and carefree in the full show.
You know what really grinds my gears? Anyway, let's get into it, because the biggest thing to talk about, Instagram, and by extension of that, the internet has gone into meltdown over the latest news about the Ferrari Luce, its electric car. The Ferrari Light, if you are in Italian. More specifically, the interior that has been shown.
So this is the Ferrari Luce is being unveiled in 3 phases. And this is phase 2. The inside.
Well, not all the inside. They've shown
there wasn't enough RAM for the whole inside.
The dashboard and part of basically the front seat, and that's it. Now, I've had a lot of thoughts about this. We've had about a day since this came out before we can sort of ruminate on it. Do you want to start with this?
So, where do we start in this?
Okay, so let's get, just in case you're not up to speed on this. Ferrari has gotten in bed gotten Jony Ive, famous former Apple designer, off of the iPhone, off of lots of, basically anything Apple he has influenced.
He and some co-creator made
Mark Newsom.
Yes.
Also a very talented designer in his own right.
They have a company called Love From.
Yes.
And that has been contracted in to do this interior.
Yes.
And I wish they hadn't.
Okay, so we're going to keep this short and snappy, but I mean, where do we start with this? The overall look of this is...
This is a design of 2 halves for me.
Yeah, let's start with the steering wheel, first of all.
It's an excellent steering wheel.
Okay.
Everyone is saying, I've heard an almost unanimous, everyone likes the steering wheel. Everyone is raving that there's an analog gauge. I don't even think the full gauge is analog. I think it's an analog needle on a digital gauge, perhaps. Could be wrong. But you have a dash pod, and you have it looks like a steering wheel from a 246 Dino.
Yes, it does look very old. It's got it's a 3-piece, flat-bottomed, crucially looks quite thin-rimmed as well. Looks very old school. You would expect to see the Ferrari engraving on it, or it's just very simple, and I think that bit is done right. But
I think there's an irony, because it's the first fully electric Ferrari, and yet the part that everyone's talking about and everyone likes, as we often go on about, is old.
Yeah,
it looks old.
It looks
old. Styled classically.
It's got this kind of sort of digital instrument panel behind it, but it's got 3 main kind of pods. Very Ferrari 308.
Now, I will say that everyone's going on about buttons and stuff like that as well. However, the steering wheel, I think, is a brilliant piece of design. It is very crisp, very clean, and historically, over the last, since the 458, Ferrari steering wheels have got increasingly more busy.
Progressively worse is the word you're looking for.
They have a lot of things going on them.
Very busy.
And these seem to still have this... we'll leave out the Roma, which had haptic dual functions buttons, but the V12, shall we say, they had indicators, which this still has on the steering wheel, but they are a more cohesive design. Manatino and on-off and bits like that. There was a couple of different switches. You can see there's a Manatino on the right-hand side of this, and there's another switch pack on the left hand side, and you've got the indicators, which kind of look like horn buttons, but they're integrated nicely. But it's a much less busy looking design.
Absolutely, yeah. I think so. Yeah, it they've done a good. I mean, I really don't get why the Ferrari are so adverse to stalks, because they do have huge big paddles behind the steering wheel, but they've put like your wipers are a little on the right hand side. You've got your wipers, you've got your Manatino as you mentioned, and you've got the button for the suspension for the bumpy road.
You can't get both stocks, if you are holding a smoke.
True. Excellent point.
And
I'm a non-smoker. That's why
Italians don't hold smokes in their mouth unless they're very, very old and playing cards, because otherwise you could drop ash on your suit, which is probably made of something flammable.
Or making love to a beautiful woman.
And
then on the left side, you've got this other pod which has various bits. Like you've got the driving modes, which on this one they call tour, range, and basic performance. So. Yeah, okay, so that bit of it is quite simple. It does look quite elegant, I think, overall. The dash, I'm in two minds about this. I love the old school font. The font that they've used for the speedometer, for the, well, I guess like it's going to be like some sort of like power unit that they're doing. All that seems to work quite well. It looks very old school. So I'm a fan of that. I'm less of a fan of this kind of basically an iPad that they've stuck onto the front.
It's an Apple Watch. It's
a giant Apple Watch. That's exactly what it is.
It's an Apple Watch.
Which is look, okay, I get it. Like we all have to have screens on it now. But this is also then hinged, like you're gonna have.
Oh yeah, it's like a dialysis machine, and you can swing it from passenger to driver.
And it's got this big metal handle on it as well. And it's just like, what are they thinking with this?
And it's got the buttons it's got the home button from the iPhone 3GS.
Yeah, like it really does look like a giant iWatch.
Well, remember when
bolted onto the side.
Remember when Ford started putting Aston grills on? You went, God, I can't tell where that's came from.
Yeah.
This is the same.
This is a bit like that. Okay, so and I imagine, it looks okay like that. I think it would be better if it was just flat. I mean, the whole idea of how that swings round, and like, is it like one and then the other position, or is it like
will it creak when it's a couple of years old?
But this is what I mean. Or like if I do the launch control, is it going to swing out and snap into position? All that kind of stuff I'm not too sure about. We don't know until look, it's going to be a while before any of us are in this thing. But also, and you mentioned Aston Martin, they've also done their version of...
You're going to say the key?
Yeah. This slightly wanky key set. Now, first of all, I am admittedly slightly old school in that I like a key to be a key, okay? Increasingly, we all have these fobs. Probably Renault are the worst for that key card thing. The Ferrari thing, which up until... on current models now, they have this badge that is just like... I don't know, it's like a small packet of smokes that you carry around, and then you just put it into the center console. It looks like you're adding a badge, but that's the keyless fob.
It looks like a novelty lighter that you get on a beachfront on holidays.
Yeah.
But the idea is, and I hate it so much, it's something for you to put down on a table. That's the whole idea behind it, is it doesn't live in your pocket. You sit down and you put it down, and everyone knows, oh, he has an Ferrari. He has lots of red golf shirts.
Yeah. Anyway, they've done that one. They've outdone themselves with this, because they've kept that idea now, but they've gotten the key now has an e-ink design, which is like kind of like your Kindle in a way. And what you do is on the center console, you put it onto what looks like a little charging pad, almost a tiny little mini, wireless charging pad, and then you press it down into it, which I'm sure is quite a nice sort of. It's probably nicely damped and all that. And then the key, the yellow Ferrari shield element of it goes black. Like as if like, oh, we're now at one with the car. Yeah. What did Aston... what did Aston call that?
The ECU. The emotional control unit. And you push it in, and the car goes da-da-da-da-da, and it goes power, beauty, soul.
God. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's as cringeworthy as the 007 reg plate.
But
And then they've added this weird. It's not even a gear shifter anymore. Like the current gear shifter, they have done this kind of homage to the traditional metal gate, which looks okay, but
someone's left a quite large dolly mixture on the dashboard,
basically,
or center console.
and then you slot this across, then, and it just
because this takes after Apple in its design, does that mean one day you're going to go to put the key in, it won't go in, you're going to have to pick out all the fluff that's gathered in the tray?
possibly, yeah. Does it also mean that after the new electric Ferrari comes out after this one, this Ferrari slows down dramatically in terms of performance? I'm not sold on this. I get it. They had to do something new.
They didn't.
And look, I really do like Jony Ive design generally. I like what he does. This, I'm not sure it entirely translates. For me, it's giving more Ferrari by Fisher-Price than Ferrari by Jony Ive.
Just because he's good doesn't mean he's always good.
No, but also just because he designs some very good technical products like an iPhone or consumer products, it's different in a car.
Well, now Ferraris are consumer products.
Well, they are clearly. Okay.
My problem with beyond it looks like an Apple Watch, and it looks stuck on.
Yes.
And it means there's no styling to the rest of the dashboard whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite glad to see an omission of that passenger speedometer, because I thought it was just stupid.
Yeah, stupid, yeah.
I don't think anyone in the passenger seat really cares.
Yeah.
However, even if you look at the Roma, as we said, that has this really cool kind of cascading waterfall effect down the dashboard and into this center console and goes past the seats. That's designed.
Yeah.
That's a feature of the car.
Yeah.
This looks like a sim rig.
It does. It just looks... look, we have to wait and see the whole car. The other thing is, I think...
You mean see the whole Taycan?
Yeah. Like, there's a bit of this that is quite retro in a lot of ways. And I'm not against kind of neo-retro. But I think that we haven't seen the whole car, but it has to tie into the whole car. And if the whole car doesn't have that kind of look to it... Like, this thing would work if... Remember they did the 458? Or Eric Clapton got a 458 done that looked like a 512
SP12.
BB. Yes. You know, that had a retro look to it. That would work
massively
in this kind of thing. So, yeah, there you go. That's our quick first take on the interior of the Ferrari Luce. I think it's promising, but I'm unconvinced.
I hate all of it. I don't think they need to make an electric car at all. There's no... Like, you have Mate Rimac coming out and going, yeah, people aren't buying the EV stuff, even if it goes really fast.
Yeah.
So, just what's the point?
Let's wait and see. Okay, there you go. That was a quick Doppio, little injection into your week. Hope you liked it. If you like it, tell us on Instagram at 50 to 70, and we'll do a lot more of these.
Ta-ra.